music videos. I know most of you don't, but I watch music videos. I enjoy watching them. So I was watching this one video by Christopher Maurice Brown, Cocaine Brown, on repeat. And what I think happened is those boys, either one of them or both of them, either work at the technology lab, and there's 4. I figured there's 4 of them. So out of the 4, and I think 2 of them were sitting to the right of me in the lab, not at my immediate right, but all the way down at the other end of the table. I think there's like 4 or 5. I think there's like 5, maybe 6 computers at that on one side. I can't really remember. But I think out of the 2 that I think I saw, the other 2, and I'm going to tell you why I think there's 4. The other 2 may have worked at the technology department at Arizona State University. Let me just say that. Okay. And I think that they got my IP address, or they physically saw if I left my laptop open, and I'm not sure if I left it open or if I locked it. I thought I left it open. But anyway, I think that they either used hacking abilities to get onto my computer, my laptop, and saw that I was watching Chris Brown crap, like I was watching his music video on repeat, which is not a big deal. And they wound up DMing him through YouTube, and I think he responded. And I think the only reason why he responded was because he probably thought it was a girl, and he probably thought it was a pussy call. You get what I'm saying? It was a pussy message. So when he spoke to them, I found out they were dudes. He probably was like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So I don't know exactly the full extent of the story, but I do know that Christopher Maurice Brown was indeed contacted by these 4 fuckers from Arizona. And you're going to say, oh, well, you're just throwing out accusations. You know, Chris might not be guilty. People always abash him. Let me just tell you, people justifiably don't like his ass. And who are these people? Obviously not his fans, if you're going to take up for him. But I understand you giving him and anybody else the benefit of the doubt. People on his side, like the people who at those award shows, don't like his ass. So cut the shit. Alright? Just cut the shit. Chris Brown was absolutely contacted. There's no doubt in my mind his ass was fucking contacted. Put it that way. And his ass was told some information about me that perturbed him. And I don't really want to say what that is, but I'll say that this. One, first of all, I'm not a Chris Brown fan, as in I'm not a groupie. I have absolutely no romantic interest in Christopher Maurice Brown. I like this particular song. But let's just say that a relative of mine was very special in this world. Put it like that. And when he immigrated to this country, he immigrated as a very special person. And because he was very special, I was very special. Now, how these boys from Arizona State University found this out, I have no clue. But I think, again, I'm going to tie this to somebody else, I think that it had a lot to do with my family. My half-relatives, as in my mom's half-sister and my mom's half-sister's daughter. And my mom has one half-sister, my grandmother's other daughter. My grandmother has 2 daughters, my mother, and who is the firstborn, and her sister. And my mom and my half-aunt, or her half-sister, are between 10 and 15 years apart in age. And my half-aunt has never liked me. And I believe that my half-aunt and my half-aunt's firstborn daughter, my half-aunt has 2 daughters. She has a daughter, she had a son, and then she had another daughter probably 10 years after her firstborn daughter. Okay? So there's 3 of them. Her son passed away from an illness, and so that leaves her 2 daughters. And her firstborn daughter is a little bitch. Her secondborn daughter, the baby, is a bitch. And my half-aunt is a bitch. So you get where I'm going with this. And I always believed that my half-aunt created a Facebook account about me and threw shit on my fucking name, because she's never liked me. ever since I was a kid. And again, her and my mom are 10 to 15 years apart in age. And she, my half aunt, and I are probably, I don't know, I think she's between 10 and 12 years older than me. I'm not sure. I don't really give a fuck. But I'm going to tie this again to these boys from Arizona. I always believed that my half aunt created a Facebook page about me. Now, I don't do social media. I don't do Facebook. I don't do Instagram. I don't do any of that stuff. I just live my life. There's nobody I want to talk to in the past. There's nobody I want to talk to in the future online through social media. So there's nobody I'm trying to connect with at all. Trust me. I have absolutely no friends, and this is by choice. I eliminated all of my so-called friends because, again, going back to my family, and this very special person who is related to me, not related to my half-aunt, but related to me. And I won't go into what this person's title was, who this person was, but let's just say this person was very special, as I said before, and it makes me very special. So this has always been a problem for my half-aunt, my grandmother, even my mother. Okay? With all that being said, I do believe that these boys got my identification, probably looked me up on social media, and somehow, some way, because I do believe that my half-aunt and her daughter, her firstborn daughter, had this Facebook page created and had it, I guess, password protected, or what do you call that? Not password protected, but they had it private so that you would have to get permission to get this page. Because trust me, I have looked. And then back when I had supposed friends, they supposedly looked and couldn't find it, which I believe is a lie. I don't believe they looked. I believe they knew about it and just didn't want me to find out about it. And I'll do a separate video about that, about how deep this thing goes in regards to how special I am and how special my this person who is a part of my family who immigrated here was. So it's going to be a series of videos, but I want you to try to keep up. So I believe these boys who were stalking me looked me up because, again, my ID was on a flash drive. My purse was left there, so my ID was in my purse. And they probably looked me up on social media and found this social media page, Facebook page, that my half-aunt had put up. And from there, I believe that they either connected with my half-aunt or my half-aunt's firstborn daughter, and then they probably told them who my gran was and who that makes me. And that probably pissed them the fuck off. And I think that's the root of this whole stalking thing. Now, let me tell you the second part about how I think there's more than two people. Because I would go to my classes and I felt like somebody was watching me. And I told my mother and I told a bunch of other people, I said, I feel like somebody's following me. I feel like somebody's following me. And I would go to my classes and I would feel like I was being watched. I was being followed. But I would turn around and look and I would just see regular kids. You know, I would just see kids on campus. So I didn't really pay much attention to it. Okay? And what I believe to be the truth is that they went to my classes, they were throwing crap on my name to people in my classes, and nobody told me. And I do believe that the staff members, as in administrative staff, and also my professors, knew about this and didn't contact me. Didn't tell me, didn't contact campus police, anything. Which, again, that's going to lead to a lawsuit as soon as I get to the bottom of that. And a whole lot of TCBing. Because if people in my classes knew, and let me just tell you, let me just set the picture for you. I was an engineering major at Arizona State University, unfortunately, because I did not want to go to school there. It took me 2.5 seconds to realize that school was a soft school. And if you don't know what a soft school is, I'll just define it for you this way. They make it incredibly easy for you not to fail. So if you want a piece of paper with your name on it and say you attended the school, go to Arizona State University. There you go. And I was not remotely interested in a soft school. I actually want to be challenged. I actually want to be able to know that I can do the work. Put it that way. And I tried to get out of this school. And I kept contacting the advisor, the engineering advisor. He would not sign off on it. You have to have the engineering advisor approve, and all of your professors for the semester sign off and say, yes, they're permitting you to withdraw from their class after the ad withdrawal period. The ad withdrawal period, it means where you can go to your student account and just click withdraw, and you get a W for the semester. it's like an administrative withdrawal. The school has to physically say that you are withdrawing, and it could be for whatever reason. It could be medical reasons, it could be some kind of death in the family, whatever. Okay. So I believe that the administrative staff knew, as well as the professors knew, that I was being stalked, and they did absolutely nothing about it. They didn't contact campus police, and they most certainly did not contact me. I got no email, nothing. And these boys, I believe one or all of them, worked in the technology department, and they were screwing around with my access to my student account. I believe they got into my student email account, and my laptop stopped working because, again, here comes this supposed killer virus that's going around, and now Arizona State University, and I believe it was March 3rd, said we all have to go to online learning. And if you don't log in online, automatically you're going to get an F. So if the professor does not see that you are logged in, that's the way he's going to take roll. If he does not see that you're logged in, you will automatically get an F. So everybody had to be logged in. And I believe that all or one of those boys from Arizona State University then used their technology knowledge to find me or harass me or make things difficult for me through that means, technological means. Okay, my laptop, my personal laptop, wound up having some issues. I kept having issues with the Ethernet with this HP laptop, and they refused, absolutely refused, as in the manufacturer, to replace it, saying it wasn't their fault. Well, I did research, and I said, yeah, motherfuckers, it is absolutely your fault. It is absolutely your fault. So many people have complained about this Ethernet issue, and I sent them a copy of the error, the icon that appeared on my laptop. And I said, yeah, this is absolutely your fault. It's an Ethernet issue, and you're going to fucking fix it. So I sent them a copy of the error symbol, and they said, okay, well, we'll look into it. And if it is our fault, then we'll fix it. So I sent it to them, and while I was there, I needed another laptop. So my professor, one of my professors, who was like, I think she was a literature professor, her class was already set up to be an online class. So there was no transition for her. I believe she was an adjunct professor. And if you don't know what that is, that means that these aren't full-time professors. They have gigs other places. So they could be like a drama teacher at another business, and now they want to be teaching you about Shakespeare at Arizona State University or at a university part-time. So that's all it means. If they're part-time staff, they have full-time jobs somewhere else. They're not actual professors. They are just people who wish to share their time and expertise about a given matter, and they're part-time staff. Okay. So this professor tells me, well, if you're having issues with your computer, you can always borrow a computer from the laptop. A laptop computer from the university, which I didn't know you could do. So she tells me, yeah, and she said they'll send it to you because we got this thing going on, and they'll send it to you. You can either pick it up from campus or they'll send it to you wherever you wanted to go, where you wanted to pick it up. So I wound up getting this laptop. And again, this professor already had her class online, so it wasn't like it was a transition. Let me just make that emphatically clear. Her class was already set up prior to COVID, and I do believe the university recognized COVID as being a real thing March 3rd, I believe. Somewhere between March 3rd and March 5th. I believe it was on March 3rd. So her class was already set up like that. All the other classes, with the exception of, well, actually 2 of my classes were not set up like that, and 2 were. They were already set up as online classes. So I go get this laptop, and I'm using it, and it's fine. And actually, HP sends me back my personal laptop. I'm like, cool. But I like the school's laptop because it's an actual laptop, and it's fast. And I have a netbook. So you know the speed at which things kind of move on there, and how much computing you can do at the same time, like how many things you can do at the same time. Okay, now those boys from Arizona State University, I do believe, are making it difficult for me to get on the school's computer, because I would try to log on. I kept having issues, and I have to call them, and I believe they were making it difficult. I believe that the school knew, or other staff members knew, that I was being stalked, as I stated earlier, because I felt like I was being watched and followed around. And I also felt that one of them, or I still feel that one of them, at least one of them out of the 4, were working at the university's technology department or something. So that means that a staff member there had to have known what the fuck they were doing. And they were getting other staff members to help, because I would call there and speak to different people, and I had difficulty connecting, using my student login and password to connect on this laptop. So I said, fuck it. I don't need the school's laptop anyway. HP sent me mine back, so I'll just box it up and send it back to them, which I wound up doing. Now let me just tell you this. The classes at Arizona State University, I was an engineering major. Unfortunately, because I did not, let me make this emphatically clear, I did not want to go to that school. I was pretty much biding my time because I didn't want to go to the East Coast. I did not want to go to the East Coast. I did not want to go to the East Coast. I did not. But the school I wanted to go to, Duke, was there. So I didn't want to go to the East Coast yet, as in my hometown.